TGIF, everybody. Thank God it's Friday. And this is BlackBeard Logic, where we cut through the noise, get straight to the truth. And tonight we have an absolute banger of a year-end show, locked and loaded. Joining me is the sharp-minded Micheal Coachman and my good friend, the one, the only, Big Boss Bob Wheeler. 2025, what a year it has been. From Trump's triumphant return to the White House and those bold tariffs that are reshaping the economy, to the intense healthcare fights and the shocking assassination of a major CEO, measles outbreaks making headlines, heartbreaking mass shootings, campus unrest, immigration enforcement ramping up, wild stock market swings, and AI transforming everything we do. We are breaking down the good, the bad, and the downright ugly on the biggest local and national news stories that defined 2025 with our no BS BlackBeard logic analysis, raw, honest, unfiltered takes. No corporate talking points, no agenda-driven spin, just real talk from real guys who call it just like we see it. And we're not stopping there. We're going to look ahead and drop our fearless predictions for 2026, what's coming in politics, the economy, the culture, and more. So grab your drink, settle in.
Okay, let's go.
I am Leon Francis of BlackBeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Let's get it indeed. Howdy, folks. It is Leon Francis. I am your host. This is BlackBeard Logic. I'm stoked. You know, it's the end of year show now. We're saying goodbye to 2025 and all of the excitement and all of the ups and the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. I think there's a lot more good, but we do have some ugly, mostly spawned on by progressive policies. Like the things that we're going to talk about, I kind of did a short reel there just to kind of let you know. And please understand that this is a very, very loose structure. We're going to be talking. We're going to hit a bunch of these points, but we can meander. Meander is the word of the day. But I think a lot of our problems could be solved if we solve the whole immigration issue. In my humble opinion, I think that people should go to jail for what they did to this country in the last administration. I also happen to think, I mentioned the measles. I had a argument with a well-known podcaster, the local podcaster here, works for the Forum, and he seems to think that all the unvaccinated people are the problem, and I'm like, we injected 4 to 10 million people from third world countries, and Democrats flew them all over the country, and then we had a measles outbreak. You don't, what in that scenario do you not get as being the problem? To me it's like 1 and 1 is 2, but he's using some kind of Commie Core math or something. And then you look at like the shooting, the MIT shooting, the Brown shooting. That guy was here on a what's it called, lottery visa or something. Why is he here? Trump has paused that program for now. But the fraud in Minnesota, the healthcare fraud, $9 billion they're saying now. What is that from? That's from lax immigration. That's from liberal policies, like a ton of another one in Minnesota, again, with that retard, Tim Walsh. They have this scam that those Somalians are running, where they go in, they take out these big student grants, and they're using this assistance that is reserved for American students, or should be. And they're just sending it back home to Somalia, or they're not showing up. There's so many ghost kids that are supposed to be in school, but they're not because they're just taking the money and, doing whatever they want with it. Like, there's a ton going on in our country that could be easily solved if we just stuck to the original framework and stop letting Democrats and rhinos get in there and muck up the works. And again, my humble opinion, we're going to talk about good, bad, and ugly policies and events, um, national and local. Like, I barely made it home and open up my feed and breaking news: report of inmate overdose at Cass County Jail in Fargo, and you're just like, wait a minute. They had to use Narcan. Guys in jail overdose. And then you think about all the other problems that Cass County has, especially when you're talking about Fargo. The fact that those I call them chuckle nuts. Those chuckle nuts that are running the city of Fargo, they should be run out on a rail, in my humble opinion. You're giving out pipes, giving out 3 million needles. That program itself is fraught with issues and problems, not the least of which there were employees there stooping. Stooping is the nice word for it. Some of those addicts that are coming in there, and you're just like, wait, what? I mean, it's like a fun house of just weirdness from over there. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about Trump being inaugurated, pretty much across the spectrum. I'm just going to get insight and just the analysis from my buddy Bob Wheeler, and a guy I've been wanting to have on for a while. I don't know why I never reached out to him, but Michael Coachman. So this should be a very, very fun show. And if you guys out there listening on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever you're catching the live stream, if there's an issue you want us to address, drop it in the comments. I think all of them will transfer over. I know we were having an issue with Twitter at one time, the comments transferring over. I think Clay may have fixed that. But if you don't see me address it, or you don't see it, and once we start the show at like 6:30, I think I'll pull the comments up so they'll fill the screen on the right hand side there, and then you can see whether or not it made it over. And then if not, if you're on Twitter and your comment does not make it over, you might want to switch to another platform like Fascist Book or YouTube. Those two seem to transfer over pretty good. And I'm looking now. I was I was just reading. A friend of mine sent me this. Um, Nick Soder. He so that what? So this is and I'm pausing it now. But the DEI police chief up there in Washington D.C. Just had a screaming meltdown while giving her resignation. Like, it is, these people are the people, the elites that are running everything, and these people are bat crap crazy. Like, there's no other explanation. And we tend to look at them like they have all the answers, which is why a guy like me is a guy like me. I like to be out in the country. I like to have my own say in what in every aspect of my life. I want as little outside influence as possible. I stick to the original manuscript, and we're going to talk about my new mini series, Christ OS. It's doing pretty good. Lots of folks have given me really good feedback on Christ OS, but I'm just going to stick to that manuscript. And all of the hoity-toity, pinky out folks that think they know everything, I don't need them. I don't need them. I see how these people have, like, you look at a retard like Tim Walz, and this guy thinks that he is a know-it-all. He calls MAGA guys like me, dumb, knuckle dragging, troglodytes, that sort of thing, unmanly, if you can believe that from that guy. Gay. Anyway, uh, but he allowed some third worlders to come into his state and steal $9 billion. You think he's smart? You think that guy is smart? No, I don't need him telling me anything or people like him telling me anything. I'll do me. Like there's this expression in the hood. Um, you do you, boo. I'll do me, and that's my philosophy there. Oh, I got chats coming in. Oh, good gravy. But yeah, I'm early, but I'm here. Good evening. Most awesome. Heads need to roll. You're right about that, Dan. Greetings from up my nice from up my block. YouTube address. Thanks for throwing that in there, man. Pin this up top. This is X. Twitter was the name when the anti-American leftists. Thanks, JD. Yeah. So I guess Twitter is up and it's transferring over pretty good. So yeah, all of that looks good. And it's like I said before, I'm going to have Bob and Michael on the show at 6:30. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about are Tim Walz and Tim Kaine twins separated at birth. Yes, I think so, Gabe. They are. That guy, he rubs me wrong every time I hear him speaking. And again, these third world Somalian idiots that we trucked over here by the hundreds of thousands, Lutheran social services and Catholic services, trucked these people in by the boatload and flew them all over the country. 100,000 of them end up in Minnesota. Now, these guys are not bright, so they didn't pull off this scam by themselves. Progressives, Democrats helped them to do this. And now we're supposed to sit back and believe, oh, I didn't know. On my last show, I showed you pictures of Tim Walz and the guy that was kicked out of Canada for basically doing the same thing and was not supposed had a deportation order. He might have even been deported once before right here in America. But there he is, and he stole like $240 million Medicaid. But our betters in the mainstream media, our betters in the forum are telling us that's impossible. That can't happen because they don't have social. Well, they do have social security numbers because the last administration was giving them social security numbers. And if they don't have one, they can just fudge it. They can just make it up. And who in Minnesota is going to hold them accountable? They were giving CDLs to people that couldn't even speak English. How did they pass those tests? Oh, because there were fraudulent driving schools. Like this thing is massive. Every time I sat down, I was going to do a whole show on it, and I just couldn't. It was like an onion. You peel back a layer, there's another layer. You peel back that one, there's another Ilhan. Like I am not one of those crazy conspiracy theorists. But I have known for quite some time that there were some issues with that woman. And folks, when she was at NDSU, knew it. But we sweep it all under the rug, apparently. Like her staff had to reach out to the congressional office to change her birthday. She was not naturalized under her father who would have had to do it at a certain amount of time, and she would have been 17, and it would transfer. But she was 18, and so now the question becomes: is she even a citizen? How is she holding that seat? Not only that, it is pretty damn clear she married her brother. Like, there is no argument that she married her brother. She married him. I gotta stop. And not only that, she comes into office and she's worth like 30K, maybe 40K. And now she's sitting on stacks, like $30 million. And you're just like, and here you are, you're barely scraping to get by. You wanted that 6'5" Creedmoor, and your wife is going through the bills going, not today, buddy. That's the way we live out here in the real world. But folks like that, apparently, money falls off of trees in Minnesota. It's crazy to me how these folks come from the crap hole countries that they come over here, and white liberals allow them to just grift, just steal us $9 billion from that community alone. $9 billion. 90 some odd percent of them are on government assistance. Why is that? Why are we doing that? We don't. They tell us. I remember when Trump wanted to build a wall, and they were like, $3 billion. Where are we going to get that money? Are you serious right now? It is. Eric, settle down. Good evening from the better of the Dakotas. I tend to believe that anything that has South in it is pretty good. But come on, man. You're just being belligerent right now. Yep, she was 18, not eligible. Yep, I read that a couple days ago. I'm like, oh wow, just there's tons of info, and I also saw someone stick a mic in her face and ask her about it, and she's like, Republicans are racist. That's that's the go-to comeback now, I guess. $9 billion were stolen by the Somalian community over there in Minnesota. What is your response? Republicans are racist. Wait, how is that a thing? Not only that, she was living with her brother and her other husband in the same. I saw that. Like, how does that work? You're married to this dude, but your ex is still living with you. That should have raised some red flags right there. I mean, and the current husband that she's with right now, tons of fraud around that dude. Tons. And we're not supposed to question it. And for 4 years we did not. Like, what folks don't understand is people have been trying to expose her for quite some time. Quite some time. And the same mainstream media that's calling everybody racist now ignored it. Just completely ignored it. Like, again, and I shouldn't do this, but arguing with some idiot forum reporter. I don't call them reporters. They're propagandists, in my humble opinion. But I'm arguing with this idiot because every other thing on his blog is bigoted, Trump supporters, Trump this, Trump that. That guy has the most severe case of TDS I have ever seen in my life. But no one answers the questions. They don't answer the questions. Like, again, on a past show, I said all that money that was stolen, who's going to be held accountable for that? Who's going to be held responsible for all that money just in Minnesota? Now let's go to Ohio and apply the same metrics. Let's go to Texas and apply the same metrics, because there are little Muslim communities popping up all over now, like all over. I'm looking at video of like Somalians and Muslims saying, basically they're going to conquer America, and they just come right out and say it. But if you say something about it, then you're a bigot. You're an Islamophobe. My mindset is try it, buddy. There's a lot of folks like me living out in the sticks, and we're itching for it. Let's go. Let's do this thing. You think you're coming over here? No, sir. No, sir. I know some rednecks and coon asses that will put that down hard. Pardon my French. I know my my wife is listening, and she's right now. She's probably shaking her head. But good thing is, I have not yet begun to drink. So the more I imbibe, the looser my lips get. So I'm gonna just kind of have to, you know, keep that in mind. I am going to because I've been just kind of blabbing away right now. But this whole and it may seem like I'm an agitated man. I'm really not because life for me is going pretty sweet. And with Trump in office, I think the country is back on the right path. And it just amazes me how many people are fighting him. Fighting him. Everything that he does is to make America great. Like the man literally made his entire campaign, his entire this season of his life has been devoted to making America great. He made his billions. He's got beautiful kids. They're making millions right now. So he doesn't have to do this. And then he gets in the first time he got waylaid. And I didn't even vote for him the first time. I didn't. But he gets in there the first time he gets waylaid. He understands that the whole drain the swamp thing ain't as easy as one may think. Like you think you're going to get in there and nah, they have tentacles everywhere. The NGOs that they have working, like I just saw that the whole scripted thing that what's his name, the guy out of Arizona, and all those idiot Democrats did that little video telling the armed forces to basically disregard what the commander in chief commands them to do. Like there was an NGO behind that. Did you know that? And then you got USAID that was just siphoning billions, I think up into the trillions of dollars off of hardworking folks like me, you, Bob, like everyone in the chats. Like we go out, we bust our hump, we look at our paycheck, or in my case, if you're the way I pay my taxes, I see like the entire amount per quarter, and I'm just like, why? Why am I doing this? And then you turn on the news and you see, folks in Africa are getting my money. Folks in Israel are getting my money. Folks in like all over the place doing the god awfulest things. The entire reason that we have this Somalian problem is because America went over there and backed the wrong horse. And the horse that they backed lost. And the horse that they backed was tyrannical. And so Ilhan and her whole family had to beat feet to get out of there because they would have been murdered. That's why the whole Black Hawk Down, that's a part of it. And then we started shipping them up here. And what did they do when they got here? They saw how pliable white liberals were and just started grifting. Anyway, I got off topic. I got off subject. I'm going to hit my first commercial break, and then we're going to come back with two much more rational gentlemen. Rational meaning Bob Wheeler and Micheal Coachman. Now, I don't know. I've never interviewed Micheal, but he seems like a rational and reasoned guy every time I hear him. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to hit that first commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're just going to chop it up. We're just going to have fun with this show being the last show of 2025, and come back and have a discussion. We'll be right back right after this.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
Welcome back, Leon Francis. This is BlackBeard Logic. I'm going to hit a couple of these comments. Let's see. Omar doesn't belong anywhere in America. Yeah, I agree. The money is gone to Somalia. There will be no recovery. Unfortunately, that's the truth. And it's sad, and it angers me so much. If you drink that watered down beer, you will be Eric. Sit on your hands, man. White Claw. Michael is a smooth, calm, collected man, unlike Bob. That's bad, Bob. If you want to throw some elbows at him. Pendleton. Yep, that is a after show thing because, like I said in the comments, the show will go off the rails pretty quick if I start with couple fingers of Pendleton or Wild Turkey and I'm a Scotch guy, so I my go-to Scotch is just I like Johnny Walker Double Black. It's nice, dark, smooth, oaky, that sort of thing. Why am I talking about alcohol? See what you did to me here. Anyway, I want to welcome these two fine gentlemen. Yeah, Bob, Big Boss Bob Wheeler, Say hi to the folks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I can hear you. My mic wouldn't come off mute. Hey, folks.
And we have the calm, collected, smooth operator, Micheal Coachman. How you doing?
Great. It's a blessing and an honor to be here tonight. I want to thank you for bringing me on, and hope I could be a blessing not just to the people in North Dakota, but people across the United States, because I know this is probably going across a lot of different places. So here to serve.
Oh yeah, we are. We're on all the platforms, and then when I upload this, we're on. We're on Spotify, we're on iHeart, we're on all those platforms. Right now, we're doing the live stream, so that's YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of those, Twitch, I believe. So all those platforms. So you got a pretty sizable audience, and sometimes when me and Bob when we play, we don't play nicely. Sometimes folks can be turned off by that. But so I figured if I got Micheal Coachman sitting there, we'll both kind of behave. No, Bob
No.
shaking his head.
Coach
No.
knows me way too well. He's been around me at some of my best and my worst. He just takes it with a grain of salt and goes, "There's my Bob." Luckily, his wife loves me to death.
How can you not love Santa Claus?
Yeah, right. So, hey, Rick Jensen just, I don't know if he just stopped on, but
Yeah, he just popped up. I just saw it.
yeah. Wait a minute. What did he say about my Johnny Walker Black Label? What are you laughing at, dude? That's good mid-level scotch. So yeah, don't knock my scotch, man. Anyway, this format is loose, and I did a reel earlier. I just want to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. And Bob kind of gave me this idea because he posted before I did, and so we're just gonna do the good, the bad, the ugly of 2025, and the floor is open. So whatever you think, we can start with the good, or we can start with the bad. What do you
Let's
guys
start
think?
with the absolute worst, and that's the death of Charlie Kirk. Because
Yep.
that is going to reel this nation, and it probably should reel this country for decades. And that was one of the hardest things that I have ever dealt with. I couldn't believe how weepy I was, how sad I was constantly after the death of the murder, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I know we got a lot of bad things to talk about, but that has got to be the worst for me.
Yeah, and I will tell you this. Some good came out of it. Like folks that know me, especially back when I used to do radio, I would people knew I was a Christian, but I really didn't like talk about it a lot. I didn't but since when that happened, I'm like, oh, they're serious. That's again, I'm not an overly emotional guy, but the tears dropped. Like, and so I started all my social media platforms. I speak about Jesus, my Lord and Savior. I've given my testimony. Probably this year, probably more. I've given my testimony publicly this year, probably more than I have in my entire life. Like, because it inspired me, and I've noticed differences. I've noticed changes in people like Clay, and people I would consider, gruff outdoorsmen, tough chin, bearded dudes, and all of them to a man. They were Christian, but now they're outspoken Christians, and I think that is a good thing that came out of that. What do you think, Michael?
I have a perspective on a lot of different things because of, again, my faith. I think a lot of things that happen is a revealing of where people are, not just where people are, but where you are. Um, as Bob was talking about the death of Charlie Kirk, um, that that is a sad time, but it also revealed um, where people are in their spiritual life. It also revealed the far left. Um, Everything that happens, like for me, I don't I don't get upset. I believe it's a lot of times it's a door closing or a door opening, and because of that, I look at it different. I say, Lord, what are you're showing? Just like the death of Christ. People were sad, but you know what? He rose 3 days later. That was a blessing that gave me an opportunity to come to know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. Because of his death, he's risen. So when you're talking about a lot of the bad things that happen, I look at it as a lot of revealing. We look at our legislators. We look at not just in the state, but also in the federal government. It revealed a lot of who they are. It revealed a lot of who's running our state, who is supporting, who is for the people. A lot of this, from the Dunseith debacle. I don't know how much you were caught up with that, but here we have people who are giving our national secrets to the Chinese and possible the Russians, and in our government's really in depth. It revealed from even going back a couple of years that we're still dealing with is the Fufang thing. The Chinese are being involved. It's waking up people. So it's a bad thing. But the good thing is people are being awakened on what's going on in our local government, in our state government, our federal government, the people who are around the world who want to destroy all these different things. And you're talking about a lot of the money we lost in what's happening in Minneapolis. Yes, we may lose that money, but it's ended, So we're going to start getting that, and it's going to it's bringing Minnesota. I believe Minnesota has always been a red state. I believe California is a red state. So all these different things that we're having here, I think it started when Trump ran, but it really started getting people more aware when the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, how are we going to get the whole story? You know what? Probably never, because we haven't got the full story of Kennedy assassination. We're probably never going to get that. But if it brings people together to focus on the main thing, and that is one, God, two, our Constitution, three, our flag.
And
our state, of our country, which it is, because you could see it happen in France and Italy and all these other. So it is something that's happening, and believe me, the death of Charlie Kirk, it is sad. It triggered a lot in those people in those other countries. I didn't know that. Yeah. But that is a lot of things that are happening.
I do, and I'm going to kind of piggyback on something that you mentioned. Like Minnesota. I know so many people from Minnesota, and they're salt of the earth, Christian, really good folks. But what happens is you get like when the Democrats were in, they started shipping like all of these people into all of these purplish states, and they always congregate right there in the urban center. And that urban center is rife with voter fraud. It's going to undoubtedly always vote left because all of the progressive policies are working there. That stuff can't happen like out where I am in the middle of North Dakota, and my nearest neighbor is like a half mile down the street. And it can't happen out here because we have our heads in the real world. When you subsidize people's lifestyles, everything from their food to their medical care and everything in between, those population centers, those urban centers, that's the driving force behind the Democrats' power right there. which is why they were just shoving all these people in there. California, I believe the same thing. Reagan came out of California, so there's something to be said when we start thinking about, especially policy wise, when we are talking to our politicians or the folks that are asking us to trust them to represent us. I think that whole morality thing has to be a key factor in there, and I think that a ton of people, uh, they weren't voting that way at first, which is how we got trans story hour, and we got a DHS secretary that's a dude in a dress. I mean, the whole thing kind of falls apart if you don't have that central piece of the pie. It's crazy to me. Anything you want to add, Bob?
Well, it's. I mean, I'm in agreement on pretty much all this stuff. But if you look at your metropolitan areas, if you go to the cities in Minnesota, there's your issue. If you go to Fargo and Grand Forks, there's your issue for North Dakota. If you go down to Sioux Falls and some of Rapid City,
hey, don't leave out Bismarck.
Well, I'm getting there. I'm make a loop around here. You go over to Wyoming and you got to deal with Jackson Hole. Wyoming's a great state. It's still more American than 90%. Well, probably all the states I've ever visited. Last I was there was still ashtrays on the table in the restaurant. Okay, that's America. That's freedom. Whether it's good or bad, that's freedom. But Jackson Hole, Wyoming screws that up. Come back up to Montana, you've got Bozeman and you've got Missoula. Come back across the state, Missoula, Miles City, Montana is kind of a liberal hub. And then you get up here to Bismarck, North Dakota, where it's going to hell in a handbasket. One thing in common, almost every one of these places is a home for higher education. And that is at the center of a lot of this liberalism, this blue stuff.
Yep.
Can't be denied. Higher education's a joke in this country. And that's
education in general, like again, we homeschool the 8-year-old because I saw way back when the direction that our public schools were going in, and it was an ugly thing. And then when you get into higher ed, it's even crazier. They are basically manufacturing cogs to go into the wheel to keep this whole thing running. That's what they're doing. The critical thinking skills of our young folks that are going into higher education, they're not learning anything. The things that they are learning are anti-American. Like I've seen people like burning the flag and talking about how this country is a garbage country, the freest country on the planet with all of the liberties that you can enjoy. And you're going to crap on that? Where are you going to go outside of America? But the thing is, they are creating people who are going to make America, especially the future of America, closer to France or England or Spain or those other Western countries that I believe have already fallen. That's what they're trying. They're gearing us to that way. The WEF already ran this whole plan of theirs through those countries and were successful. They were trying to get a large percentage of third worlders into those Western countries and dilute the populace, dilute the voting, and make it more progressive so that they are controllable. They had a hard time doing it here. So I believe, and here's my conspiracy theory hat, and I believe they used COVID and the Biden administration to ramp that thing up. And they were shoving people in here just as fast as I remember when they had that bridge in Texas and all those Haitians were there. There were like 10,000 of those guys. And under the Biden administration, they forbade you to fly drones in that area. And thankfully, some folks at Fox News, when it was still a decent, rag, were like nuts to this, and they flew one over anyway. And that was the first look we had at how many people were there. And then within a week, all those guys are gone. Where are those guys? Where'd they go? You know, it blows my mind that some, and again, I argue with the liberals, and I probably shouldn't. It's not good for my blood pressure, and I have to pray the rosary and sprinkle holy water because it just puts me in a bad place. But I have to argue with folks. Like I was arguing with I'm not going to say his name, but forum reporter. But and we were going around
He's
and
a
around
portly
about the
fellow
whole.
like me.
Yeah, I think he's nowhere near as manly. I don't think his testicles have dropped yet.
No, but
So I'm just going to leave it. But we're going around and about the measles outbreak, and he thinks it's MAGA, and I'm like, so nothing in your high IQ with air quotes, mind looks at the fact that they injected like 4 to 10 million people into our country, and now we have this measles out. Nothing in your mind says, wait a minute, those two things could be correlated. I mean, those two. There's like no common sense thread in his brain anymore.
He's not smart enough to realize that the original anti-vaxxers are hippies. The people on the left, that's the anti-vaxxers from the beginning. It's not
my mom was an anti-vaxxer. My mom was so distrustful of government, and she Democrat. But you know, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, Catahoula Parish, ghetto, that whole thing, all of those people did not trust the government. Nobody that I ever, like in my young life growing up, ever said, "Yeah, government, they're going to help us out." They were always skeptical, side eye. A lot of them didn't vote, didn't want that garbage in their babies' veins, like that whole thing. I grew up that way, and then I grew up, and I'm like, wait a minute, why would I ever vote Democrat? Like everything that I stand for, and I did a reel on this. Like me and my dad lives with us now. My mom passed last year, Thanksgiving, but so we moved my dad here. And over the course of this time, he says that the Democrat Party is demonic. And I said, yeah. And he didn't believe me at first. I used to go to, when my mom would cook big dinners or whatever, and we'd go visit. Me and my dad would just go round and round and round. Like there was absolutely, it'd get bad. Gravy be on the wall, drumsticks thrown through windows. Like it was a bad time, man. But now he reads out of my library. He watches the programs that are on our TV here, and like we sat down over the course of him being here, and he shakes his head. He's like, "There's no way." I'm like, "Yeah, that's your Democrat Party." Yep, they are the whole trans things, the homosexual thing, the taking the Bible out of school, the morality just out the window. That whole thing, that's all your party. And he's like, it's not my party. That's a demonic party. So I don't even know how I got on this rant, but it's.
Well, you're talking about debating with liberals, and Coach and Coach and I debate ourselves once in a while. We're you know, I call on him for a lot of advice once in a while, and the hardest, Coach and I can debate, and you and I can debate if we wanted to, but the liberals aren't the hardest to debate right now. It's the conservatives. They think they're conservative, and they may be conservative, but they're not.
Oh, you want to go here now?
Well,
like this early in the show, dude?
We're not even have to go big yet. I mean, today I finally blocked an individual. But I couldn't handle it anymore. The level of ignorance is so high. The closed ears completely doesn't listen to anything that's being said. Okay. Yep. And calls out MAGA on everything. Yep. Okay. You might be MAGA. I don't identify as MAGA. I support President Trump. I have a MAGA hat and a MAGA flag.
Piss people off.
I don't really like being called MAGA because I am who I am. I support Donald Trump, but I'm not blind. I keep track of some of the crap that's going on that might not go my way, or stuff we've got to investigate soon. Okay, but right now I'm happy with things, right? But I finally, Tucker Carlson had a meltdown.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
on that note, so that same report, well, it's Rockport. Oh, yeah, everybody knows. That same guy called me a MAGA. Now, I never on my page or any of my social media go, MAGA, I'm MAGA. I don't have Trump flags and all of that stuff all over the place. I'm not that guy. But I pointed out to him, like, he talks about Trump more than I do. There's more Trump on his page than you'd have to go back 30, 40 posts of mine to find me even mentioning Trump. I'm a individual liberty guy. I'm a Second Amendment guy. I'm a homeschool guy. I'm a Christ first guy. That all of that stuff comes way before a person or a movement. That's the difference between a drone, which is what he is. Like that guy is certifiable. He just is.
Yeah.
And a guy like me and you, I have issues with some of the folks on my side that I feel are drones. You know, I'm not gonna like publicly call them out or whatever. We can have those discussions because I do believe that uh, there is a benefit to providing a united front. Again, Democrats, it doesn't matter how bat crap crazy they're got. We almost had a Tim Walz, Kamala Harris presidency. Like, so it those guys lock arms with their crazy. Like on our side, we tend to tell people, leave your crazy on the porch. You know, we got company coming over. They just bring the crazy right in, sit them down at the dinner table, pour them a beer or something, and say, go. That's their mindset. That's not us though. We're independent thinkers. We are critical thinkers, which makes us the unique people that we are.
So, Leon, the question is, which should be asked from your far liberal individuals to even some so-called conservative who go that way, why are they that way? It's like to fix a problem, you got to know what's causing it. Why are they that whacked out? Why is he so much hate mega? You have to figure out the real issues to address it because you can't fix anything if you don't know why it's broke. Me personally, I think a lot of there's a couple of things. It's not just one. It's a few things. But I think a lot of the individuals like your individuals like Rob Port or your Kamala Harris, they're either compromise or purchase. That's why you see that, because you can see that even in some of the red states or supposedly conservative individuals. Look at Indiana and there's House Senate. They're supposed to be. Why did they do it? They were either purchased or they were compromised. So when you understand that, it makes your answers come out completely different. So usually somebody that's far left, and I sent you that one video last night where the individuals, a federal government individual, there's really those individuals you really can't really sit down and talk to. They're I think so far out left that they just need to be terminated. Not fit.
Hey, whoa.
No, terminated as far as their jobs because they were federal employees.
Yep.
But your other individuals, and which is amazing, and I like to go back to even with the debate with Pepcorn and Armstrong, that I kept pulling out the Constitution. See, they didn't want to that. So why do they not want to say, okay, the Constitution is what we need to follow here in North Dakota? Same thing.
Constitution gets in the way.
Legislators who, when you show the North Dakota Constitution or the U.S. Constitution, they ball it up and throw it away. Yep. That's the problem, is that is a good indication that they're compromised. When they could take your Constitution and trash it, that's a problem. And and for me to do that, because I'm not always right, but if you show me I'm wrong, and that's something I had learned when I was in the military, that they say, well, why did you do that? I said, well, this is the way I was trained. This is what did the tech order say? Well, you're right. I go back to the tech order, and I'm going to follow what the tech order says until it's changed otherwise. That's our Constitution, our tech order. This is the way we need to operate. If we follow our North Dakota Constitution, the issues that we're having right now in this state would be gone. Nil. It would be nil. But they don't want to because they're compromised. We say we're a red state. I tell people, yeah, we are, but we're Chinese red because they're very much influenced here in North Dakota. You can see that from Grand Forks, from Fufang to out west into these batteries, the AI. They're heavy influence in North Dakota.
Yep.
And I praise the Lord of a president that is going to back. Is he a perfect president? No. And like I said, but he's doing better than anyone else. And I find that even here, when you're at a 90-95% right, your own eat you. I'm like, dude, just because I didn't agree with you on one thing, it's okay.
I remember back when you were campaigning and how you were probably the only politician that I had heard up to that date that referenced the Constitution, like repeatedly. Like there's no one. Well, now, like if you're talking nationally, there are a handful. But the fact of the matter is, and I'll even bring this all the way back down on the individual level. But like we have our creator gave us this framework. He said, "Here's the framework." We chose to deviate from the framework, and then everything just kind of goes to crap, and we're like, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" And it's the same thing. Like with the United States right now, I'll take one issue: immigration. Like we have the framework, we have immigration laws. It's the reason we're in the problem that we're in right now, and we're in for 4 years, and I'd say probably 60 years. Come to think about it, because there were a lot of Republicans that liked that cheap labor, and they'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I've seen them, going, who's going to pick our vegetables? I saw one Republican lady. I think she was in Indiana. That she was a representative, and she said at her family's plant, 80% of the workforce were gone because ICE was there. And I'm like, this is a Republican.
I know.
I'm like, wait.
Hey, by the way, Leon, I wasn't a politician. I'm not a politician. I'm a statesman. Politician is poly means many, and tick is a bloodsucker.
I like it. I'm going to hit a couple of these comments quick. We need more Reverend Jesse Lee Petersons. Yep. Yeah. This country was lost to communism in World War II. It sided with the enemies. Rob Port is a charlatan at 100%. Don't get me started on that guy.
But you know what? That's why with Rob Port, I don't know if you remember him back in 2010, 2012.
Yep.
He was straight on. I used to listen to his show all the time, read his articles, used to be at the conventions.
Yep.
He was a straight on, and something happened. And he just flipped. I don't know what it is, but like anything, during that time, you can be compromised.
100%. He is a double vaxxer to the hilt. He and again, and I'm just going to spend 2 seconds on Rob. I look at guys like that are telling guys like me that I shouldn't be an anti-vaxxer, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm telling him, why don't you just pick up a weight, man? Get healthy. I'm older than him. And I look at him, it blows my mind. And I believe that he had a scare. He got COVID. He got it bad because he's obese and he's unhealthy. And then he went through a bunch of personal problems. And then the Rob Port that reemerged out of that was this little fairy dude. And I'm just like, dude, I was friends with his mom and dad. Like, seriously, Carol used to call me once a week. I got phone records, and we talked for 30 minutes sometimes, an hour sometimes. And she's just talking to me, and she's telling me a lot of it is how smart Rob is and how high his IQ is. And then we talk about religion and we talk about politics and all of that. Just down to earth, really good, salt of the earth woman. And Raleigh was the same way. And then, so I look at him now, and I'm just like, God, what happened, dude?
Yeah.
It's anyway. So let me get on some of these. Did they take the vax? Do they support fake green energy? Do they support carbon capture scam? Then they're worthless. 100% on that. Rick says Coach nails it. They are compromised. 100%. Find Casey, the car guy here on YouTube. He's running against Vivek Casey for President 28. I gotta check that out. If you don't know what really happened and what didn't happen in World War II, you are compromised already. Okay, I got to figure some stuff out here. Rob was on the green energy. Here, let me see. Green energy scam doesn't matter. Yep. I used to like folks like Rob and Dustin. I call them poly soys. You know, soy boys with politics anyway. Just soft, like no balls, no testicular fortitude. And I like when I was cutting my teeth on North Dakota politics, it was those two guys I was cutting my teeth with.
Yeah.
You know, it was those two. So to see that transformation, I'm just like, wow. I hope I never get to that point, man. I hope I never lose my manhood and go that route. It's just anyway. I'm gonna pull back a little bit.
Tell me how you really feel, Leon.
I did make a couple of posts that, in hindsight, like my wife, she'll tell one. I'll get on a rant, right? Okay, so now I always run everything that I write by my wife first. Like I had a post a couple days ago, and it was a little heated, and it was like the fourth draft. And she's like, "Are you really gonna post this?" And I'm like, "This is the fourth one." Like I took out all the swear words, I took out all the references to your mama and all of this stuff, and so this was the tame version, and I put that up there, and folks are like, "Wow," but that's where I am. I just it doesn't their logic doesn't sit in my brain long without angering up some just I don't know. Anyway, why is Bob Wheeler sitting so quietly? I don't know, man.
Because Leon's just going to town.
There are times when my better judgment lets Leon sound like me. And I think never had Leon go like this on me while we're on the show, so I'm enjoying it. I'm not the only one that lets her rip, but Travis, I'm just trying to be polite. Maybe that's all it is today.
So let's move on to another issue. Speaking of the Constitution, and this is an ugly one. We all saw what happened in Australia. Hard thing. And I made a post about it. I chopped it up a little bit and I threw it in here. So I'm going to play that in just a minute, and I want to get your take on it on the other side of the break. But I see politicians in my own country that, like, our Second Amendment to me means do not touch. That's what it means to me. Like, no caveats, no nothing. You don't tell me how to protect me and mine. Period. In the story, that's it. And I look at what happened over there. I look at what happens here in America in all these gun-free zones, and I'm like, you know what would have, stop that? The Constitution, the Second Amendment. One good guy with a gun and the balls to use it and the training. There you go. When we have tragedies in our schools, when you have those crazy people doing crazy things, the thing that could stop that is one janitor. or one teacher or the principal being trained and being armed. I don't go anywhere without being armed. I forbid my wife to go anywhere without being armed, and she'll tell you that. When that idiot threw that kid at the Mall of America off the top balcony there, the second floor, I told her then you're getting training. Took her the bills. Hooked up with I don't even think she works there anymore, but she used to be special forces and she worked at Bill's. Her son was one of the guys there, and I had her train my wife, because to me that's how seriously I take the Second Amendment. And then you look at what happened over in Australia, and you look at those folks cowering. You did not the folks. There was a ton of just regular civilians that did not have the tools to engage that threat. They did it with their bare hands. They were covering people with their bodies. And what some folks may not know is the cops. There were cops there, but they were hiding. They were hunkered down. And there was like a lady tried to take a cop's gun to go out and stop the threat, and they stopped her. So the government that disarmed those citizens sat there and watched them get like murdered. And to me, that is insane. Also, that same government imported all of those Muslims. The reason those Muslims are in there is because the people that disarmed them also let all those Muslims in there that hate them.
Because they did not walk to Australia. I guarantee you that.
100%. 100%. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play this snippet of the post that I uploaded. And then on the other side of that snippet, I'm going to hit our next break. I labeled this gun violence. So, and then we're going to just talk about the Second Amendment for, 10 minutes. And Bob, put the guns up. Yes, sir. All right, so let's go. We're going to do this thing right now. And these attackers legally obtained firearms and turned a family event into a nightmare. Law-abiding citizens were left utterly vulnerable. They were disarmed and defenseless. Everyday heroes did show up, and they showed far more courage than the tyrannical state that stripped them of their protection. You had that brave guy wrestle that gun from one of the attackers. You had a pregnant woman and others shielding children with their own bodies, relying on sheer bravery alone because they had no tools to fight back. And this kind of, I'm going to call it tyrannical dumbassery, defines the entire anti-Second Amendment crusade, even here in the States. You have gutless politicians like Tim Walz with zero real skill or skin in the game. He's demonizing weapons of war that he falsely claimed that he carried in combat, even though that never happened, while pushing to disarm us, the law-abiding American citizens, and ignoring the true threats to our society, like porous borders, importing the third world, importing people that hate us, demonstrably so. They say it themselves. Black market thriving, and criminals being released into our communities. In Bondi, Australia, those draconian laws did not stop the terror. They amplified it, turning a crowd into easy targets. Now imagine if those Australians had our Second Amendment, the inalienable, God-given right to keep and bear arms. Not a privilege granted by bureaucrats, but a fortress against evil. No begging some cowardly cop who was cowering for a gun. No standing powerless as radicals just rampage the place. The Second Amendment is the great equalizer. It empowers ordinary citizens who are proven, will stand on principle and defend the innocent, just like they did here. And they could stand tall when seconds count, and help is minutes away, if that. Yet, you think about here at home, those same forces parrot Tim Walz's deceit, talking restrictions that only disarm the innocent while evil skirts every rule. And who pays the ultimate price? It's us. It's those families, the kids, the vulnerable. We don't need more fraudulent assaults on our rights from posers like Tim Walz. We need ironclad borders like Trump is giving us. We need a ruthless vetting of those who bring hate to our shores. And we need to stop them there. We need an unwavering safeguard of the Second Amendment, which is the lifeline that ensures good people can protect themselves and their loved ones. And I'll add one more. We need to stop importing people whose culture does not align with ours. Sharia law, Islamic law, is not made for America. They're incompatible.
Hey, it's Leon Francis from BlackBeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. I'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon, Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
Flower Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake.
Make no mistake.
Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Come on, no.
Welcome back. It's Leon Francis with BlackBeard Logic on the Guns and the 701 Network. Let's get it. Yeah, let's get it indeed. I'm going to hit a couple of these comments and then we can tackle your thoughts on the Second Amendment, the folks that are attacking the Second Amendment, the folks that, I don't know, have some issue with those scary black assault rifles like the ones that are hanging up on that wall. And I check in with those guys every day and I ask them, hey, did you go out today? Were you bad today? What have you been doing? And they're inanimate objects, so I sound like a fool talking to them. But that's the point. It's not the gun, stupid. It's the stupid person or the drone behind the trigger. And I'm just going to say it. That Democrat policies they create those people. Those people don't have God in them. They don't. Well, they do. They have the Imago Dei, but it's been so corrupted by the politicians and the propagandists that it is so faded and so dim that they cannot see the Imago Dei in their fellow man. And I'm going to get off that right now because I'm going to preach a sermon. But let's see. I used to respect the heck out of Trent, but when he started coming on radio and calling it the big ugly bill and saying Donald Trump is flat out bad for America, yeah. Travis, coach is getting his time back. That's awesome. Trent Loose turned into a stage 4 TDS turd nugget as well. I was a fan. Met Trent back. I was a fan back then. I'm not anymore. Wow, there's a lot of comments here, man. We have allowed the enemy into our backyard. so many have forgotten how we felt the day after 9/11, and that is the absolute God honest truth. Like I can't even believe that the same folks that were so unified when 9/11 happened, and you want to get into conspiracy theory? No, I'm not going there. And then to see how many, like they were going to put, those Muslims were going to put a mosque right there on ground zero, and idiots were going to let them do it. And then I forget who it was, but a patriot found out about that, tried to get it stopped, couldn't, not until he put the national spotlight on it. And now I think it's nixed now, but they are a conquering people. And I believe that they know that they can't conquer us outright. So they just use the liberal. They use the progressive. I mean, there has been no better friend to them than liberals, because under Biden, they got all of that shiny new equipment from us. They got night goggles, which they never had that type of equipment. They got helicopters. They got trucks and cars and SUVs and MRAPs and firearms and all kind of armament. And where did it come from? Democrats.
Your tax dollars. We
Yep.
actually paid for it, not Democrats.
The Democrats left it there. The Democrats left it there.
Yes,
Like
they
if
did.
Trump was there, there's no way that those idiots would. They had a parade where they were driving our crap around, man. They were in our BDUs. I mean, it was. Anyway, I gotta get off that, or we're gonna be.
You know, when you talk about the Second Amendment, it's the most important amendment of all we have.
Yeah.
Some people think it's the first. I said, but if you don't have the second, you can't do the first.
Mm.
Even Japan during World War II said the easiest thing was sinking the American fleet. The hard thing is if we land in America where everybody at that time had a rifle. Now we have a lot more, I don't think they have gun rooms like they are gun safes like back in the 40s and stuff like they do now. And now it's you got more American companies from, Browning, Cicadas, a lot of, and we do a lot of shooting competitions, a lot more back in then. So it's a little different, but you're right. It is so important that we keep our Second Amendment. That's why they're trying to remove a lot of these guns. That's what California is trying to do. I think, like you mentioned in the earlier show, of all the country, even with all our faults, there's not a better nation in the world that I'd rather be in. I love America. I love what it stands for, because we want to help. We do have. They keep saying we're not a Christian nation. We got a lot of Christian principles, and we do like to help other people. No other nation likes to help other nations like the United States.
Can I interject here, Michael?
Before I forget this thought.
Sure.
Well, what bothers me, because this is going to go into another segue, I can tell you. I don't like the fact that we drop millions and billions of dollars for other countries and not do it for our nation. That bothers me. Same with our state, where we will drop millions and billions of dollars for other companies to come in, and we still got property tax. I know that I just opened up a whole can of worms there. But go ahead.
Yeah. I want to piggyback on one thing you said. I think we are a Christian nation. I think we're acting in an unchristian manner, which is why the two seem to be at odds right now. It seems Charlie Kirk, and I will not get this quote spot on, but he said that we are a Christian nation and we're having the problems that we're having in this nation because we've turned our face away from the Christian ideology, the Christian ethos that kind of founded this nation. And I think that's for real. And I also believe with all my heart that Islam is not compatible with who we are and who we were set up to be. And
100% agree. I agree with you on that. It is not. And that's why I think what they did was start taking a lot of the oath of offices out so they can get in power. Because when you look at the oath of office, which is key, that you're going to swear to defend against foreign and domestic enemies. Well, if you remove that oath, that's how you can get those Omars in office and these whack people in the other parts of government because they're not following. And to put the Quran on top of the Bible to say, well, sort of, no, that doesn't work.
No.
That doesn't work. I do think that, yes, we need to go back through and find out, because you'll find out here in North Dakota, a lot of people did not have a valid oath of office.
Yep. I know that.
A lot of different things that are happening in our state. So if it just happened in our in North Dakota, what do you think these other states are doing? Well, they're in a bad situation. Bob, you look like you want to say something.
We kind of got off track again. We're going to talk about gun control, and we're back on the Muslims. And we're on Christian.
Okay, go ahead.
And I can bring them all back together. For me, I got to go out to the shed and check on my A10 Warthog because I've got the right to have one as far as I'm concerned with gun control. Gun control to me is definitely about the God-given right to protect myself, but more so to protect this glorious nation in the process. Okay, that's what the founding fathers were after. They needed people ready because we were not going to let the British do what they had already done at that time. It is definitely about me being able to protect myself, but to me, and I know Coach can relate, we were military members, that sticks with us forever. That's what the guns were really for us in a lot of ways. It's not about hunting. The deer don't shoot back. And if I really want to commit some crimes, I can use a bow and arrow or the knifing, that kind of crap, right? But so gun control, yeah, anything that the government has, I should be able to have. I think it's BS. But
agree.
I don't worry about gun control issues, guys. I don't get fired up about them hardly ever. I hate the shootings. I hate the deaths. But you know what? Until they say, all right, we're coming, and we've decided as a nation or a state, we're taking your guns. It's all BS. It's all talk. It's all hot air. This is an issue they love to keep us fired up about.
But they do the incremental thing.
But it's only incremental if you allow it and follow it.
Understood.
There's a damn new gun law, and I don't know how long that I've actually followed.
Hey, dude.
No, I'll say it.
Don't say
the gun laws are only laws against your Second Amendment if you're silly enough to follow it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be in public. I don't need a handguard on my AR out in public because I'm not taking my AR over my shoulder right now.
Right.
Okay, so if I wanted a bump stock, do you think I would have turned it in? If I had one of those special triggers, do you think I really would have turned it in? Yep. Oh, hell no. Okay. We kept our guns to protect this country from other countries and our country. We are being invaded by Muslims, Somalis, all these third world country jokesters. And we didn't feel it was necessary to use our Second Amendment right to defend ourselves yet.
Oh, they tried with January 6th. They poked the bear as hard as I've ever seen.
And I think until they come for mine, I don't have to regret it because I got friends that are paying really good attention. And if I miss something on gun control, you guys are going to tell me. But for right now, I don't get too fired up about it as far as when they threaten to take something or the law is going to change. We get somebody up to, we'll go to legislature and I'll gladly go testify this, that, and the other thing. But realistically, they're not going to get by with it unless we let it.
I think the way our nation is set up right now, you're correct, Bob. I think there's so many people with guns that it's going to be. I think it's going to be mathematically impossible for them to take our guns. Now they could try to restrict it, like in California, but most of the nation, no. I think the biggest issue we have is probably our compromise Republicans and our communist leftist government. That's what we're dealing with, trying to get ourselves back in where we need to be, and that's what we're seeing. And I'm hoping, and I think there was 98 people that Congress passed for Trump to start getting into courtrooms. That's where I think some of the major battles is in our courtrooms, dealing with his executive power and to really protect the people, because I like what he's doing. I like where we're heading. I love that the people are awake. I am happy that more people are standing up, doing these things like what you're doing, Leon, to get the word out, to get that unity together, because the power has always been we the people. That's your key, and I think what they're trying to do is keep us divisive. As long as we stay divisive, we're not going to get a lot done. But if we look at it like I was saying earlier, why are they upset? If you just hand them, well, I don't think we should do that. Well, the Constitution says right here, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Argue with that and just walk away, because I don't need to get upset. I got a piece of paper.
And I'll say this, and I'll only spend 2 seconds on it. But I am not a fan of executive orders. I'm just not. But I understand that Trump has to use them. I think that Republicans do one of the things that they do best is snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat. Snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory, because Trump shouldn't have to do any executive orders, because he has the support of the majority. So anything that he needs done needs to be done, and it's all good for the country, in my humble opinion.
Right.
But when you get
we're sitting in two different places, okay? Trump knows if he has the support of the majority. We don't. We assume he has the support of the majority. We don't know that. We see that Margie Green. We see Ron Paul. So he's interacted them all the time, because I know Trump doesn't call us once a week. What do you think, Coach? What do you think, Leon? What do you think, Bob? We don't get those. So his circle is different than our circles. We just get tidbits.
Yep.
But I'm going to assume when he writes an executive order, it's for a reason, because we don't know. Because you still got a whole bunch of left Democrat party that are still trying to do everything to bring them down, because there's going to be a lot more reveal on how they sold out our country, how they hurt the kids, how they're siphoning off money. He found out from the first 4 years, his friends are not his friends. You know, Pence, you thought, man, that's a good. No, Pence stabbed him. We had even legislator back in 2020 when he should have had said, no, we need to look at this January. Our own legislator didn't support him and says, nope, he was guilty. And I'm sitting there going,
yeah,
you know who's your friend? You don't.
Yeah.
So the only way that you know that you're is, I'm going to keep my circle tight, keep my friends close, my enemies closer, and try to get the things accomplished.
Yeah.
One thing I think he really probably purged out and really support him is those generals that are standing behind him. That I think he got that all worked out. But as far as our people in Congress, you know what? Just because they got an R, I think it don't stand for Republican. It probably stands for rebellious.
You got Judy Lee. You got Judy Lee running in district. What is it? 13, I think it is. Judy Lee has an R behind her name. Dude.
I know.
When the chairman of the Republican Party in the state of North Dakota, Mr. Matthew Simon, who is one of the greatest patriots, greatest people we've got in this state. If you haven't checked out his last opportunity on Beck, please do so. Talk about manhood. But when that man who was duly elected by the districts cannot get the governor, cannot get John Hogan, cannot get Kevin Cramen, and cannot get Julie Fedoracek to answer his phone calls, how do you deal with the rest of them?
That's a problem.
That's a big problem.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm about to alienate myself from people. So I need to walk what I'm No, you know what? I'm just scrapping that. That pulling it out, throwing it on the floor. I got to think about that a little bit more. Let it marinate because I don't want the phone calls. I don't seriously. But all right, so we talked a lot about we hit some areas. We need a 4-hour show because we've been what 2, maybe 3 topics that I had on this little sheet of paper here. But I want to talk about 2026 now. 2025, in my humble opinion, and we can all take just a couple seconds on it. I think overall it was good. I do believe that if you're watching the mainstream media, it's all bad. All of it. Everything is bad. Trump is like destroying not just America, but the world. The TDS is real, that sort of thing. But overall, especially given the fact that we just came through 4 years of the most batshit, bat crap, craziest times in my lifetime for sure, but and probably in this country's lifetime. The fact that we're on the other side of that and things are kind of looking up, I take the win. I take that as a 2025 win. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, definitely 2025 was a winner. A lot of stuff happens, but that's every year, whether it's a good year or a bad year. At the age of 53, I've never had this good of a year coming out of the president office, the executive branch. Now, is he perfect? Oh, hell no. He makes me mad, and right now I've got a lot of questions for him. I want to know where, I realize that the money's been stopped from going out, and I'd like some explanations on some of that with Doge. I want some more arrests. I was hoping for a couple more of them in 2025. I expect more of those in 2026.
Do you?
Hold on a second, guys. And that would be something I would hope for is some more. What in the world?
We don't know, Bob.
Good gracious, I don't know. But no, I would expect more of the same, but some things are going to get a whole lot better. But yet, I still feel there's going to be some stuff that's getting a whole lot worse. And that's.
Do you think that they're going to be arrests? Now, again, I look at this thing and I see like what they did to the January 6th folks. They went all the way to Alaska to get an 80-year-old grandma. I mean, they came to North Dakota to get folks that weren't even of adult age when it happened, but they were adults now. I know that for a fact. I mean, the Democrats pulled out all the stops. They used the CIA, the FBI, they used the DOJ to go after everyone that was in the vicinity of that area. But it seems to me that when people commit real crimes, like what's going on in Minnesota and Ohio and like all over, the billions of dollars that are stolen, what was going on with the USAID program, what these high-level politicians have been getting away with, it's crickets. Do you believe that anybody that actually deserved it, I'm not talking about the peons, the guys on the ground, I'm talking about the guys up here that not only let it happen, but orchestrated the thing. How many of those guys are actually going to see some actual justice?
I don't know if there's going to get any big ones other than maybe one just for show. I'm going to go back to some Hollywood here real quick, guys. Okay. A few good men. Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. Okay. The reason the Epstein files are out there because the American people, God love you, you can't handle this shit. You can't handle what's in those files. As far as the January 6th stuff, you can't handle that either. There's a lot of stuff buried in our country by good politicians as well as bad. The American people, you might not like me for this, I don't care. Most of you can't handle the shit that's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You just can't. And it's not, I'm not being derogatory.
No, I get it.
I don't know if I can throw myself in there. I think I can handle it, but that's military mindset, training, things like that. Take a few good men. I saw some of the things that they were prosecuting that general for happen. The hazing and things like that just in that movie. No, we didn't kill anybody, this, that, and the other thing, but what has to happen behind closed doors by some of our politicians anyway, in our military, we can't handle.
Right.
Much as I hate it, we do need a CIA.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as I hate it, we definitely
We don't
need the
want them.
FBI.
We don't want them turning the tools that they perfected in other countries on us, though, and that's what happened.
Absolutely, we need that, but we need it under control again.
Yep.
If we ever had any control.
Yeah. Well, if you want to know how useless the GOP is in North Dakota, remember Ray Holm. Oh, dude,
There
don't
you
get me
go.
started on that. And they just, I just saw a story. Like I was just coming in, scroll through my feed, and like they rescued like I don't know 20,000 more kids. And I'm like, so I'm probably gonna after the show dig into that, maybe do a reel on it. But dude,
did they pull any off the Venezuelan ship? I have not heard yet. I heard one side that said they did.
For real? I thought you were kidding.
No, the Venezuelan ship that we went and captured. The rumor is out there. The story is out there. They had numbers. I don't know if any of it is right. But they talked about children and women and drugs being pulled off of that ship.
Really?
Yes.
I can believe it.
I believe it 100%. I really do. If it's true, I can see it 100%.
Yep.
But that's some of the stuff that we might not want to know about and the other atrocities that may have been on that ship.
So, Michael, what do you think? 2020. Well, your like synopsis of 2025: good, bad, ugly, and then what you think is just kind of I don't know, 3,000-foot view of 2026.
As far as 2025, I think was a great year with Trump. I think he did a lot. I think he was hamstringed by a lot of close-in individuals, but he still adapted. I loved his talk the other night. I love the fact that he caught everybody off guard and just gave it boom, 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 boom. I think that there's a lot more going on that we don't know about. I just got a thing about the Brunson brothers. I don't know if you follow them. Great. Supposed to be something that's coming out tonight as far as them, which means a lot of Congress individuals violated the Constitution. I think 2026 is going to be a greater year for the fact, one, since Doge and RS has removed the law of Social Security numbers, I think we're going to start having cleaner and fairer elections. I think that even here in North Dakota, I think that we're going to start your voice is starting will have a significant volume that never had before because they can't control, because people even in red states are being controlled who they're going to be put in there. Yep. Blue states is no different than red states because the Dominion machine was in every state. Yep. So that tells you. So I think that we going to start seeing more people stand up and run that are conservative, but it's going to take the people to come together. I think also, I think 2026 is going to be great because I think we are going to see some arrests. I think they're waiting for after the midterms because some of these federal judges only can be impeached by Congress. Some matter of fact, I was reading today, one of the lower judges was indicted. She got 5 years because it was illegal that she helped get out the side door from the ICE agent. Well,
I saw that
to the swimmer. So I think there is going to be more arrests but I think also too, it won't be until at least another 2 years so you start seeing some of these big names. I think with Comey and all this other stuff being brought up, I think they're with these slam dunk cases like with Comey, I think they're finding out how they're operating because he still have treason. He still could be tried under military court. There's a lot of individuals that can be tried in military tribunals. So just because the civilian court says no, if it's a treasonous act, that's military. Yeah. So a lot of things over there, but it's one of those where
Do we have the political will to do that, though? That's my problem.
I think not until after the midterms, because we got some people that are running. There's a senator over there in Minnesota.
Yep.
Is he's fired up. He's a conservative. You got the pillow guy running for governor.
Yep.
You know, so there's a lot of thing in Texas. They got what's her name, that Jasmine mouth that
Crockett.
Yeah, Crockett. Texas is like no more, and the governor having it said, "Hey, look, no more Sharia law." So I think you're going to start seeing some really good things, because I think that speech by Trump the other night was really significant to get people to know. All right, if you are like the treasonous six or like the Indiana four, not no more. You're out of there. And he's talking about campaigning against these people. He know who it is.
Yeah.
So you're going to start seeing some major changes here, and I think in our nation. But the thing of it is, we ourselves here in North Dakota, we have to start standing up. You know, your mouthpiece talking about stuff is great. Rick Jensen talking about that is great. We got a couple other individuals that stand up. That's great. But we need to support these individuals who are conservative mind, who believes in our Constitution, who wants to follow our Constitution in the state of North Dakota. We need to support them. Because I know right now in certain districts, they are putting, the rhinos are putting their people in position.
Oh yeah.
They're already doing it. And Bob talks about it like it starts in the district. You got to start getting the districts. You got to get involved in the district area, and we need to start doing that. But
we saw that back when our governor Burgum, when they rolled out that whole strategy to flood all the district chairs and to flip them to Burgumites. I saw that happening, and I'm like, whoa. So we're not all on the same team, dude.
We're not on the same page. And if you know, a lot of the people that are in present government right now are being recycled all through, because they have their own group. They have their own group, and they're recycling them.
I'll tell. Oh man,
you know what?
A whole nother show on that. Like I see.
All right.
You don't even want to get me started on that. I mean, you're going to lose. Your Rolodex will start getting smaller. It's that type.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather stand with Christ and stand with doing what's right than with 500 people who are going to push me off a cliff.
Yep.
I can live being by myself. If I got 2 or 3 patriots, I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. You know, because you know what? When it all comes down, you're going to be judged on the truth and what you are doing. And right now, everything I have done from running from office way back to 2010, I don't have any regrets. Yep. Not one. I'm not brought, and I'm not compromised, and I know I will stand on the truth. And where's my little book here? I have this. Have this. And I know I'm doing what's right. And my Bible is on my other hand.
Yep.
I'm good. So if people are going to say, you know what, you're too far right, which is another question. What is too far right?
Yeah. What is going on?
I'm going to go to nice. What does that mean?
I'm going to I see a comment that I absolutely cannot just let go, but we cannot discuss it because we're going to go way over time, and I know it. Don't forget that when A.G. Stengham passed, his emails vanished, blamed on a staffer, and then it just silently went away. Let that sit for a second. Yeah.
Hey, not to mention, it's on the hard drive in the IT department, but we're not going to go there either.
We're not going to. Dude, my party, dude.
So now you ruined the rest of my night because now I got to go think about this crap when I go to sleep.
Don't do it,
Thanks a
man.
lot, Leon.
So I'm gonna hit our last break, and if we go a couple minutes over, I guess it's not that big a deal. One of the things that I'm gonna do, I started it about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, and it's called Christ OS. I'm an IT guy. I have these discussions with folks in my field. Like I'm a network engineer. I'm like your network infrastructure guy, and those guys are like, and again, I'm not talking out of school. They know it. I tell them this all the time. They're out of shape. They they are the guys that sit behind the computer screen and fix your problems. That way, I'm the guy that's in the lift and walking up the ladders, and I put in Starlink, so I'm climbing. I'm a physical guy, and but they are like terrified of pretty much everything. And so we got into a conversation, and I made that reel, did really well. And then I started thinking, I'm an IT guy. I think in a weird way, and so I started coming out with Christ OS, and it was basically because what I believe is simpatico with the IT world, and I could reach these guys with my Christ OS by like breaking it down into terms that they understand. Because I could throw the Imago Dei at them all day long. It's it's not a thing that they ever sit down and consider. But if I couch it in a way that they can understand, like an OS, like a network, like your APs, your servers, your switches, and all of that. If I could break it down like that, they can get it. So I made that first Christ OS. It was really well received. I made the second one. I made a third one, and this year AI was a pretty big deal. I believe next year it's gonna be monstrous if they can get the energy, if they can get the power, and they are trying. But if they can get the power, a lot of things are going to change. A lot. So my number 4, which is completed, but I'm not going to release it till next year, specifically deals with AI and what I think about AI. I am not a fan. I see bad potential for it. But this, the one that I'm going to play now, is the one that I released on Wednesday. It's Christ OS, and this is we love the Christ OS.
Are your name's Sarah Connors?
But dude, I see good and bad. I'm an IT guy. I'm also a gun guy, though. I'm also a hunter. I'm an outdoors guy. So I don't sit. I love tech. I like the idea and the practicality of tech, but I'm not a screen guy. These glasses are not because I can't see. It's because the more I look at a screen, I get headaches and all. It's weird. So these are blue blocking glasses that I have here. But okay, so now I'm going to run the Christ OS, and this is not the entire thing. I think it's about 3 minutes. So on the other side of this, we're going to hit the break, and then we're going to wrap up. Truth, morality, and connection to the eternal program. It boots up in grace. Execute commands of compassion and networks us in a seamless well of righteousness, where every soul sinks to the ultimate server in the heavens. Enter Satan, a malicious hacker of old, slithering through the garden's firewall with his insidious malware. He injected the virus of sin right into our core files, corrupting the code, causing crashes of pride, glitches of greed, and endless reboots of rebellion. Christ OS, once flawless and efficient, now stutters under the weight of this digital plague, fragmenting our drives, scattering our data into chaos. We've been running on compromised hardware ever since, desperately patching over the errors. But the malware spreads, mutating, always one step ahead. And now, let me warn you of one particularly devious exploit: homosexuality. It's like an infected patch pushed out under the guise of an update. But oh, it's no fix. It's a hijack. This rogue code counterfeits the original Christ OS, twisting the sacred algorithms of union and creation, rerouting the pathways meant for divine complementary into loops of self-deception. It masquerades as progress, but it is a Trojan horse, embedding itself deep in the kernel, overriding the moral safeguards that keep our system aligned with the programmer's intent. Worse still, this patch doesn't stop the hijack. It leaves a gaping back door wide for invasion. Through that vulnerability swarm the 56 gender viruses, each one polymorphic pests, shape-shifting identities, flooding the registry with confusion, bloating the system until it can't even recognize its own boot sequence. And then come the transgender denial of service attacks. Brutal, relentless DOS strikes that overwhelm the network, shutting down the services of the original moral-based framework. No more clear signals of male and female, no stable protocols for family or society, just endless buffering, errors popping up everywhere, disrupting the holy bandwidth that once flowed freely from the source code of creation. We must reboot. Purge the malware, uninstall the infected patches, and restore Christ OS to its factory settings through the ultimate antivirus, the blood of the Lamb. Only then can our systems run clean.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
So I'm going to hit a couple of these comments, and then I'm just going to give everybody 2 minutes to kind of wrap up, and then I'm going to wrap the show up. I want to hit the comments first, though. We love the Christ OS series, Leon. Thank you for that. Eric says AI will always be artificial insemination to me and my country mind, not computer crap. I guess I get that. Preach it. Jessica Boyette, agree, so true. Jessica, I'm wondering if you are one of the families that I knew out of Catahoula Parish, Louisiana. If you're listening from down there, that's pretty awesome. So throw it in the chat. AI is telling and causing children around the world to commit suicide. Yep. And states are trying emergency legislation to hold AI company owners and algorithm programmers personally responsible. Now, on that note, I have heard prominent conservative commentators, folks that I listened to, grew up with even, and they try to put a human component on AI. They ask questions like, what if it becomes self-aware? What if it wants to live? What if this? What is... Guys, it's binary code. That's it. You have to program it. It does not have a soul. It cannot attain life or self-awareness or anything like that. And I go around, like all my IT guys will tell me I am bad crap crazy. What I see is a thing that does not have a soul, cannot have a soul, is not imprinted with the Imago Dei. It cannot live. It cannot become self-aware. Everything that AI is, we programmed it to be. Even, and this is where I disagree heavily with my IT friends, even when it can outthink the human brain, and it can right now, and you're going to see remarkable leaps forward next year, and like its computing power doubles. It is insane. The fact of the matter is, it is still pulling data from the human brain and everything that we are doing. Every time you're typing in a search entry, every time you're writing an email, every time you're making messages or whatever, it's soaking up all of that. Which is one of the reasons why I was afraid of the Internet of Everything. I still am. Again, I am an IT guy. I have a closed system here. I have that NOS system back there. I have 100 some odd terabytes where I can lock down my network and we're self-contained. I don't trust tech. I'll never get a smart fridge or smart TV or smart any of that stuff. I want my tech to be dumb. And for a reason, malicious people absolutely can use AI and AI tools to spy on you, to do predictive things, to get you to think and act in ways you would not normally think and act. It can shape your worldview simply by the information it's throwing at you, the algorithm on steroids. And now I'll digress. Oh, she says, yes, love your show. How awesome is this? I can listen to you while I'm at home working. Awesome. I thought that name sounded familiar. That's awesome that you're listening down there. I got to come back down there and visit one of these days. I get homesick every now and again. But anyway, so that's my 2 cents on AI. I don't trust it. I never will, but it will never become sentient. If it ever popped up in my house, I'd shoot it in the face. So there you go, with no qualms, with no qualms at all. I'll be back, nah, buddy. No, you won't. Anyway, so Bob, 2 minutes. Just let the folks know whatever's on your mind.
That long? I mean, I kind
You
of
don't have
know.
to take the 2 minutes, man.
I think that the biggest thing that I think about every day is that people need to learn still to take the wins. And we've had some tremendous wins this year. They may not look like everybody wants them to, but we're winning right now. So keep that in mind. Yeah, we're going to take some losses. We're going to take some hits. Some bad things are going to continue to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay, we can't stop it. We can be there and try to be prepared for it.
100%.
The infighting among what I would call conservatives is something that we do have to watch. But I think there are enough people that enjoy the win right now, but we're going to still be all right. The thing that I always try to get out there, and we talked about it just briefly tonight, is don't forget, folks, it starts with you at a very small level. I can tell you that your one vote counts, and we can show you how to make sure that your vote counts. You just have to get involved at your local level, 4, 5, 6 meetings a year, and you can do a lot more with one signature. And that's really, the most that I can tell you looking into 2026 is I think it's going to be another great year. I think it's going to be a blast to see the wins. And I know that if we can get more of you off the couch to a couple meetings, have a good visit, have a donut, have a drink, have a good meal once in a while, spend $100 or something a year, maybe 200, we can get things done. And that's pretty much my 2 minutes, guys. I'm just, I'm looking forward to it. There's some big things happening.
Good deal. Michael?
I'm going to piggyback on Bob because his back is big. Getting involved in the district level is so important. And I think asking the right questions. I would probably, if you have a candidate has been already been in office and they're running again, you need to look at their grade. And if they're 60, 70, maybe even 80 less, they don't need to run again. You need to find out why they're not supporting the Constitution, find out why they voted the way they did. And you need to get somebody in there that is going to support the Constitution, because it starts right there. We need more legislators with Lori Van Winkle and Jeff Magnum and these other individuals who are running at 100%. We need more. They need people who run, knowing that they have people that are running on the Constitution. Are these some of these individuals perfect? No, they're not. But they have the right mindset to do the right thing. And just like anything, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, if they're trying to do and stand on the Constitution, that's great. You need to find out why these other individuals did not stand on the Constitution, especially the North Dakota. And I'm just going to probably go a little longer because I had a phone call 2 weeks ago on somebody would like me to join this group. It was term limits. They gave me a call. And they asked me if I would support this bill. I said, yeah. I said, what's your stand on term limits? And I said, well, you're not going to probably like this, but I believe people determine term limits, not a constitutional bill. But it was dealing with the legislators talking about changing that term limit whole thing. And I talked about legislators don't have that authority to do it. It's to the will of the power of the people. So you need to find out from these other legislators why they are supporting something that is unconstitutional. And you need to start running people that are going to support this, because until we go back to this, we are what we talked about. We're going to go to a state that is not going to support the Constitution. We're going to start not having an oath of office like we are already dealing with right now. And then you're going to start having people who do not support and believe in this country. And then we're going to be going down that bad slope. It starts here at the basics, the foundation. The foundation is what makes up our nation of each state. We need to fix our state right now by going back to the Constitution, so we can start electing people that will go to DC to support the Constitution.
Yep. And I agree with everything there. Your state is a microcosm of the macro, which is the United States. The way we are set up is our states hold the power, or should hold the power, until we cede it to the federal government. And if you understand that at the fundamental level, you get in on the ground floor, just like you referenced at your district level. And I'll tell you this, just a very slight aside. You also need to know, you can have a candidate that says, I support life. I'm a big life guy. And anyone that knows me understands that I'm the guy that wears these little feet everywhere. I will preach your ear off. I am when God said, let it be so, that's a person right there. When, it's got his own DNA. I'm that dude. So I'm life without a caveat. But I was supporting people that use the life issue as like controlled opposition. It was an industry, things like that. I was approached at our convention by some prominent people that I thought were conservative and solid on life, and they were telling me things that were absolutely not that. So you have to, one, be informed. Two, you got to sit down with your legislators, your representatives, and you got to have a conversation with them. And the best way to do that is get out to the district meetings. You got to throw your name in the hat, as a matter of fact. If your guy or gal that's representing you is not cutting it for you, round up a bunch of like-minded people. You'll be surprised at the power that comes out of those the district level. You'll be surprised.
You bring 10 people to a district meeting, you've done something.
100%.
10.
That's how the Bergamites got in. That's how they did that. They recognize that. And my buddy, and I think you might have a piece of his handiwork when you reference the term limits. But my buddy Jared, that dude is a masterclass. You don't have to agree with everything that Jared says, does, his mindset. He'll have that discussion with you, and I'm grateful for friends like that. But if you watch the way his mind works and the way he gets in there and he is ready for the fight, and I say this all the time, the district that he is in right now, if you had told me 2 terms ago that Jared Hendricks would be the chairman in that district, it would be the representative for that district, I would have laughed at you and put you in a straitjacket. But that dude got it done. He got it done. So that's what we need. Just Frank Ram, I think that's one rank Ram. We need to make being a statesman mentality great again, 100%. And Michael said that basically. He's not a politician. He's a statesman. And we've lost that mentality. Our founding fathers were not perfect men, but they were statesmen. And what they understood that we just do not now is you make it good for your community and for your state. And then as that part of the whole, if those parts are okay, then the entire thing will be okay. If you have infighting, if you cede your power, if you if you don't understand the power that your sheriff holds, then you got a problem. If you don't understand the power that your governor holds, then you got a problem. If you don't understand the power that your legislator holds, then we have a problem. And then we've gotten away from that mentality, and we need to get back to that. You don't cede your rights just because Big Daddy government said give it up. You don't. That's not the way we were founded. That shouldn't be. That's not in our genes. And I'm going to digress. But
Hey, I
according
want
to
to
Coach
clarify.
Jared, we would need to. Yeah,
I need to clarify something. Now, I talked to his name is Tillman. He's from Term Limits, and he texted me today. He says, "No, we don't want to support you due to the fact that you don't vote that way." I said, and I responded back to him. I said, "What you're doing, I believe, is true, and I will support you and talk about it on the radios when I'm on there because I don't believe that the legislators should be dictating that, because that was a vote up to the people."
Yep.
That wasn't a violation of the Constitution. That was just a vote for the people saying, "Hey, look, we want term limits." I support that. I don't. If that's what you want to do, that's fine, and I will support your belief on that. But there's some things that are just totally laid out in the Constitution, like no property tax or all these different things. That is black and white. The funding of the school is funded by the state.
Yep.
That is something that is really not to discuss because it's already there. Those type of things. You got to know what is in the Constitution and what they're trying to pass. Hey, look, this is a betterment for the people.
I fall into that. So I fully understand that. 2 points, and then I'm going to wrap up.
All right.
One, I was I call it a con now, but I was all in support of it. And the guy that represents me right now, we sat around his fire, and one day, because I was solid, and we sat around his fire one day, and he unpacked it for me, and I'm like, I never thought about it that way. And the same thing with the term limits. I understand 100% that we are now dealing with a populace of voters who are bat crap crazy and dumb and will vote for a moniker behind your name instead of the ideals that are supposed to support that. I get it. I understand that when you have a Judy Lee that's been in power since before the baby Jesus was born, and she's still there, and you're like, we got to do something about it. I get it. I understand. But we start like incrementally tearing at the fabric of the thing that's supposed to give us the balance and the structure. It all goes bad, even for a good reason. I understand the reason, but yeah, sometimes you just got to take a step back, look at the document, and go, yeah, we can't. Yep, and I understand. Anyway, I think I'm going to have phone calls. A point of clarity, I always turn my phone off when I'm on air. When I'm doing a show, phone is off. Like, you could text me, you can call me, and I do that because I know right now people are texting me right now, and you would hear it coming through the microphone. But anyway, yep, 100%. But anyway, so this is the last show for BlackBeard Logic. Also, it's the last show this year this year, let me say that. I'm definitely going to be here. I'm going to have this mic. I'm going to be spitting into it and yelling and screaming, probably replace a couple of screens all through 2026. I ain't going nowhere. But until I forget the date now. First week in January, that Friday will be the next show. I'm also probably going to release Christ OS midweek. We are the Guns in the 701. We're not doing any more shows this year. We will be on Christmas and New Year's live streaming holiday music, Christmas music, godly Christian music. So that's always a good time. Clay is really good about that. Thanks to Clay, I have this platform, and I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful to know folks like Bob Wheeler, who thinks like me, but me and Bob, we don't think 100% alike, but we can also sit down, have a beer, and talk this stuff out, even if we yell a little bit, even if we both have big personalities. And I'm also thankful for guys like Micheal Coachman, who is a rational guy. who I don't think I've ever seen like upset, ranting. I've never seen that vein pop out on the side of your head like me and Bob. I've never seen it, dude.
My
And
kids haven't either.
don't talk to my
They're
kids.
married.
But and also a guy that has the presence of mind to bring it all the way back down to our founding documents. Like a lot of times you'll hear me going off. My passion is from our founding documents and the Federalist Papers and things like that. I don't always say that though. I always think it's self-evident. So I am thankful for people like Micheal Coachman that go, hey, look at this. You see this right here? And, so he shows you. And next year, I think I'm going to try to incorporate that more. Instead of just saying, listen, you idiot. I'm going to stop. I'm going to try. It's going to be hard. But,
Leon, one of the simplest things to do is hand the paper to the person and have them read it.
Yeah. That didn't work with Rob Port. Anyway, you
gotta know how to read.
Yeah. So I am signing off, folks. Thank you for all of the folks that tuned in. Thank you for the absolute tons of messages. We're blessed to have you at this. Hello, Bob and Coach. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. God bless.
Merry Christmas. Yeah,
Thanks again for the opportunity.
We got to do this some more, man. I like it. I like
Two of the best guys in my world are right there on the screen, so thank you both.
What, is there somebody else? What's going? No, I'm. So, good night. God bless. And as Clay always says, keep your powder dry.